Hi, thanks for joining us. This is Industry Insights, part of the REMI Network, the Real Estate Management Industry Network. This is a really good channel for you to subscribe to and tell a friend, a colleague in the industry about it, because it's a lineup of some of the most amazing interviews on topics that really affect your decision making and what's happening in the industry of real estate management. If you'd like, you can even hit the notification button if you're watching on YouTube, and you'll be notified every time we have a new episode ready to go. Today's episode is very interesting. It's based on something called the Multi-Family Report, some research that's arrived to the industry and to our nation. And what research company provided it to us? In fact, it's not a research company. It's brought to you and me by a company in the technology field, a company called YARDI. And joining us today from YARDI, Mirzad Bakht. Thanks so much for taking the time to talk about the report with us.
Thank you, Mike.
First of all, why is a technology company doing this report?
So let me explain. In terms of technology, we've got access to a lot of really big data.
Yeah.
Big data is a term that you'll see a lot in technology. And what that means is that we've got a lot of clients using our system, right? We have access to a lot of information in the industry. So our clients are using our system to manage their portfolios. And we're able to take a sample size, right, of 5,100 properties. In this particular report, that's what we've did. We've got 5,100 properties, 500,000 units.
Yep.
We've taken that information, we've aggregated, we've anonymized it, and we're able to present what is actually happening in the industry.
Actualized information as opposed to survey information.
Exactly, right?
Not always accurate.
Right. So a lot of other media outlets or articles can be based on asking rents, could be based on survey results. And when the news and the media pick up on this, it's not necessarily what's actually happening in the industry.
The survey is based on people being honest to start with, and then the media interpreting it honestly as well. When it's based on facts, that's irrefutable.
Exactly. So some of our clients, the market will dictate what the rent is going to be.
Right.
Right. You might put it up for $2,500, but you might in fact rent it out for $22 or $26. Right? We capture that information and we're able to report on
the
it.
difference between what was asked and what's actually gone the way of lease. Okay, let's get into the report a little bit. How much of an impact is immigration having on rental housing in Canada at a time where it seems to be a stress already?
It's got significant impact, right? It's got significant impact. And before I go into some of the issues at hand, which we're all aware of, right? We've got a housing crisis, the affordability is an issue. And something that doesn't get talked about a lot is the student housing crisis. But before we start talking about that, let's just say, our immigration policy should be cherished, right?
It's the foundation of this country, actually.
Exactly. It contributes to the economic and cultural prosperity of what makes Canada great. And we should cherish that. However, I do think there's some improvements that could be made to help some of the issues that we're faced with, in terms of the rental housing shortage. Mm-hmm. When we look at immigration, the folks that are coming in, the merits that they're coming in on is based on education, mm-hmm. right? We're bringing in highly educated people, graduate degrees, postdoc degrees. I think what we need to do is maybe look at immigration and start to look at bringing in more skilled workers.
Well, if we need more housing and we don't have the means to provide it through construction, even through funding of the government, then we need these people with trade skills.
Right. So a big thing so CMHC just reported, right, by 2030 we need 5.5 million units, right, to be able to support our demand and also relative affordability to 2004 rates. That's another important piece is affordability. At our current capacity and aptitude to build, we're still going to be short 3.5 million units.
Therefore, immigration needs to have a refocus on the skills we need to answer that call.
It's added to the issue at hand, but it could be refocused to help as well.
With the removal of GST, HST here in Ontario on new housing developments, is that going to have some positivity in the housing crisis, you think?
Absolutely. We need to see a little bit more involvement from all forms of government. This is definitely a step in the right direction. What developers are going to start to see now is that a lot of their projects are going to now pencil out. It's going to make sense. right?
Gotcha.
So the savings that come from these GST and HST relief is really going to make and incentivize developers to build more.
Can you tell me, in the report you guys kind of focus on this, what has been affecting Canada's GDP to kind of lead us to weaker than normal Q3?
Yeah, so we talk about that in the report. Basically what's happened is we've seen huge population growth in Canada. And then on top of that, we've seen some labor shortages in some of the industries that have been hit hardest by COVID. Mm-hmm. That's healthcare, hospitality, and retail. And that's contributed to some of the weaker than normal growth in GDP for Q3.
Listen, this is a report that I think makes great sense to the industry. Something based on factual, actualized, up-to-the-minute information is something I think that's a little overdue, and it's very interesting that YARDI has brought it to us. Encapsulate YARDI for us before we go.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're a property management and accounting software company. So our clients use our services and solutions to manage all their real estate operations, and we cater to all types of asset classes, including commercial, residential, senior housing, social housing, and the list goes on. It's a fully integrated system that manages back office, property management and accounting, as well as a full suite of front office tools like marketing, leasing, operations.
It makes sense that you guys would have this data available, and to extract it into a report that gleans this kind of information. Hats off to you. Where can people find out more about YARDI?
Please visit our website, www.yardi.com, for more information.
Thank you so much, Mirzad. It was so good to meet you.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
And thank you for joining us. This has been Industry Insights, part of the REMI Network. We'll see you next time.